Hello everyone! The 71 episode came out pretty quickly a few days ago, and to tell you honestly, such speedy release from Boom surprised me quite a lot. Nevertheless, I still managed to do my analysis of this episode as soon as it came out. But there are a few details I didn't have time to discuss in my previous video, so I will do it today. So in this video, I'll discuss the most hidden secrets of episode 71. And I will also be going to share my predictions and theories about what's waiting for us in the next episode. In today's video, you'll get the answers for these really anticipated questions. What is actually hidden inside of this cargo that was hastily carried away from the main Skibidi base? Did G-Man actually betray Skibidi Scientist? And what kind of plan does he have up his sleeve? And are him and ISOTOILET's rivals or comrades after all? Get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because it will be the best thing you'll see today. And let's go. But before I'll deep dive into the discussion of the most interesting hidden details of episode 71, I would like to address one really important thing you guys wrote me about in the comments to my analysis to this episode. When I had been analyzing the 71st episode, I actually made a mistake that I forgot to correct because I wanted to share my analysis with you guys as quick as possible. So, in this scene of the episode, when we see G-Man destroying everything in front of him with his lasers, we could notice two Skibidi flying behind the back of this Skibidi mutant. In my analysis, I had said that only one of these Skibidi toilets was Skibidi Welder that we saw in the second part of episode 68, and that the other one was no other than ISOTOILET. But thankfully, you pointed it out in the comments really quick. So I rewatched this scene and understood that you guys were right. The details about this guy's appearance were actually of another Skibidi Welder, and not the Astro from episode 60. Although in my defense, I would like to say that this guy's appearance looked really similar to that ISOTOILET. Plus, considering that the actual ISOTOILET from the first part of episode 70 appeared at the very end of this episode, I got really befuddled by it and tricked into thinking that there was more than one Astro guy lurking on the battlefield. Well, it's fair to say that everybody makes mistakes occasionally, even such gigachads as myself. But what's the most important thing is that I have the smartest community on Earth, and you guys are already ready to draw my attention to any details that I could somehow misinterpret in my videos. And by the way, guys, if you want to communicate with me more directly, then you need to subscribe to my Discord channel ASAP. I post a lot of exclusive information in there and also announce some special events for my subscribers only. You'll find a link to it in the description to this video. And now, let's discuss some of the hidden details I didn't have time to mention in my analysis of episode 71. First of all, I'd like to draw your attention to this thing I discovered after I rewatched this episode a few times. And it simply blew my mind. Do you guys remember Skibidi Kleiner from the second part of episode 68? This guy was really creepy. And he was also powerful as heck. And I had some really high hopes about him in the future episodes of the series. But it turned out that Boom just forgot about this guy pretty quick, which was a shame. Well, at least that's what I thought until I rewatched the 71st episode once more. Take a closer look at this particular frame. Doesn't it look familiar to you? Yep, that's exactly him. You can guess that by the bald spot on his head, and also by two of these neon blue lights, which are barely visible. But they are definitely there. That's the color of two of Skibidi Kleiner's laser guns. Although he never used them in battle, I really think those are lasers, because they look like a combination of Skibidi Scientist's eye laser from episodes 60 and 67, and of G-Man's Temple's yellow lasers. Also, in this shot, we can discern four of Skibidi Kleiner's giant laser cannons, which proves once again that it is definitely him. Another thing that I would like to address really briefly is this little dance that this shallow copy of the Dark Speaker Man does in that scene. It turns out that those particular moves were taken by Boom from the Fortnite Boogie Down dance accompanied by the track called Funked Up. But even given this fact, that dude still keeps annoying me a little, because he seems like a parody on Speaker Woman and the Dark Speaker Man to me. I mean, get your own personality, dude. There's also another detail that I caught after I rewatched episode 71, namely, the scene where this sassy Skibidi mutant appears and his equipment is enhanced as hell. And which makes it even more badass, are two of those katanas on his back, similar to the one that my beloved Speaker Woman carries at the end of the first part of episode 70. I feel like we're about to see this freak using them in combat really soon, and it feels both uneasy and exciting to me. We'll see how it goes, though. The other detail about episode 71 is connected to two POVs and where they were actually located at the time. In my analysis, I was unsure about the nature of those explosions in that scene, but it occurred to me later that it was actually the explosions from the missiles that unalived the first POV of this episode, which means that the first POV was placed behind this mountain, while the second one was from its opposite side. So at this moment, the trio of Titans and G-Man were in completely different directions, so that they wouldn't be able to cross each other's road anyhow. Which even upsets me a bit, because it would be so freaking cool to see the Titans fighting this new, cold-looking, badass G-Man. And now, it's time to move to the most interesting part of this video. Of course, you must have remembered this part of the episode when some mysterious cargo had been carried away by two sandwiched Skibidi helicopter toilets. And it was obvious to everyone that it had to contain something really important and valuable for the Skibidi army, considering how fast this container had been taken away from the Alliance forces. And it's interesting how right after this cargo was off, G-Man himself appeared, as if he wanted to distract all of the combat forces of the Alliance to his own figure. And with that, nothing stopped cargo from being moved far away without detecting what was actually inside of it. So now, I am aware of how bad you all guys want to know what's really inside of this cargo, and I think that I got plenty of ideas that could have satisfied your appetite. So, first thing first, I think that this cargo can most likely contain some sort of really useful materials or details that can be used by toilet scientists later for the creation of new and more powerful Skibidi. Or this cargo can store already built elite soldiers of Skibidi army, who G-Man planned to save from this battle and use in the future a bit later. And those may look like some really unique mutants or test subjects of Toilet's experiments, similar to ones we saw in the first part of episode 69, because this time it could seem obvious to G-Man that he could pull all of these agents of the Alliance on his own, and he turned out to be right about it. And why I think that it's very possible that this cargo may contain some Skibidi living material exactly, is that because the Alliance also uses the same types of containers to transfer their soldiers, like in episode 66. In any case, whatever could be lying inside of this cargo, it must have been transferred to another secret base of Skibidi of some sort. Well, at least that's what I think. And now, let's talk about the G-Man character himself a little bit. Since episode 71 happens almost at the same time as the events from the third part of episode 70, we all asked ourselves one important question. Why the heck didn't G-Man help Skibidi scientist who had been getting literally destroyed by all the elite soldiers of the Alliance at once? Even the description under Boom's video confirms this, which says, while Alliance were busy with cooking scientist, someone escaped. The first thing that came to my mind, of course, is that G-Man can turn out to be a traitor. I mean, guys, if you were subscribed to my channel long enough, then you must know that I really love theories about someone being a traitor. So, let's discuss this possibility a little more. What if he sensed it for a long time already, that Skibidi army seems to be losing this war, and that Skibidi scientist is actually too weak to be a leader of this fraction? And considering that it's exactly what the secret agent said, it may be possible that G-Man could already feel it before. So what if the G-Man we saw in episode 71 was already acting on his own? Maybe he decided to break away from the major Skibidi fraction and create his own division instead. And what if this division will somewhat cooperate with the fraction of Astro Toilets? Because that would be a good opportunity for G-Man to reach his initial goal, to conquer the Earth and destroy the Alliance, with the help of outer forces. But this theory has a lot of things to doubt, though. For instance, why would Astro Toilet lurk around the battlefield sneakily in this case, gathering the info from cameramen's records whom G-Man didn't destroy completely? And why would G-Man destroy every single cameraman as if he didn't want all this info to get to the wrong hands, I mean, toilets? Plus, do you remember the scene in the first part of episode 68 where we could see the Astro Toilet sneakily observing the battle between Titan TV Man and 3 G-clones? My idea is that he was observing the majority of battles between the Alliance forces and Skibidi toilets on order to gather most of the information about both sides' fighting abilities, so that the fraction of Astro Toilets would be able to crush both of their enemies and conquer the Earth on their own. There are still some secrets left, and we can only wait for the next episode to come, and hope that it will be able to solve some of the mysteries of this series to us. And that was all for today. Write your own theories about the real G-Man's intentions and which side is he truly on. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my new cool videos. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!